Hey everybody, welcome. This is the Nico J Trading Channel. My name is Nico, and we're going to be doing some trading now. We're going to be doing our option session, the daily session where we're just going to be trading. I'm going to be sharing my strategies with you guys, showing you guys what I'm doing, explain every trade we take. So we're going to look for a few trades in a second. First off, guys, I'd like to remind you I'm doing a live stream this afternoon on the live streaming channel. Link will be in the description below. Today we're going to be discussing AI. We're going to be looking at pocket brokers, PO brokers, AI functionality. They do have an AI trading functionality, but we're also going to look at how AI like ChatGPT, Claude Sonnet, and those types of AIs can actually help you with trading. It's a resource that a lot of people are not using. A lot of people don't know about it. So we're going to be looking at that this afternoon. We're going to be doing some training as well. And it's a great opportunity. I hope I see everybody there. You guys can pop in, ask questions. We do have a live chat open. So it's a great opportunity to interact. And yeah, we can discuss any questions and stuff you guys might have while we're trading. Okay, so that being said, let's go to the platform and see if we can find a few trades. Okay, so we're on Euro USD. We are 17 minutes into the UK session. Market just opened in the UK, so the volume's coming in. We did see some volatility, some big candles on the 1 minute on the opening bell, but these have settled down and all seems well. We're going to look for some trades. If you're new to this channel, let me quickly explain to you what we have on the charts. We've got three moving averages. It's a 50, a 100, and a 200 moving average. These are simple moving averages, and we use them as dynamic support resistance areas. We also have Bollinger Bands on the chart. These are set to 14 period and a 2 deviation. Then we have the ADX, the RSI, and the stochastic. All of these are set to 14 periods. So basically they're set to default. There's no reason, I think, to change them. We're going to use them as is. We have three main strategies that we use, although we do have other ones that we'll cover if the opportunity presents itself. We will be using divergence. There's four kinds of divergence: hidden divergence, and normal divergence. So you get hidden bullish, hidden bearish, hidden normal bullish, normal bearish. Hidden divergence is a continuation signal, and normal divergence is a reversal signal. So we've got using only divergence, we have continuation. We already have a continuation and a reversal strategy. Secondly, we're going to use the ADX. We're going to look for DI spikes where the ADX remains low, the ADX itself, but the DI plus or DI minus does a big spike. That tells us that it's sharp, sudden movement, but there's no strength behind the move. And there's a good chance that price will reverse in the immediate future. So we do, that's a reversal strategy that we use, and we're going to be using that. And thirdly, the third main strategy is when price is trending, we're going to look for corrections, which always takes place. Price never goes in a straight line. It's zigzags. And these little corrections, we're going to look for when we see that we are in a clearly defined trend. We're going to look for these reversals, and then we're going to look for RSI rejections of the 50 line, telling us that the current momentum of the trend is being maintained. It's not slowing down, and then we're just going to take a trade in the direction of the trend. So this is also then a continuation strategy that we use. Okay, so we spread across the board. ADX works really well, for example, when the market is ranging. Normal divergence as well, and then hidden divergence and the RSI strategy works really well when the market is trending. So we've got strategies for all the market conditions, whether it's ranging or trending. We will be able to find entries and take some trades. Okay, so right now we are On Euro USD, I've got a 10-second chart on the left and a 1-minute chart on the right. The payouts are low at the moment, so as you guys know, I will lower my trade size when this happens. The reason being, when the trade size or when the payouts are really low, your win rate needs to be a lot higher to be profitable. Whereas if the payouts do go up later on, I will increase my trade size as well. If I lose a few trades here, because that happens as well. So if I do lose a few trades, when the payouts go up, I can just do one single trade and basically recover all the losses I had when the payouts were low with a lower trading rate. So when it's 72, 74, my payouts, my trade sizes will always be like 20% of what it should be. And then we'll just see. Once the payouts goes up, I will also increase my trade size again to back to where to what it is when we to what I normally trade. All right, so that's enough blabber from me. Also, I just want to make a shout out to my friend Hunter from Lebanon. Dude, I'm glad you didn't die in the war. So yeah, we can put that behind us. It was a bad stretch for you, but all's well, and we can focus on work. All right, so as you guys know, trading is about patience most of the time. We do not take trades every few minutes. So we're just going to sit here patiently for now and wait for our strategies to give us an entry. Should not be too long though. We have it's some nice movement at the moment. Did miss a buy here. This signal fired when I was busy setting up to do this video. But you guys will know that if you remember, one of my favorite strategies, it's a bit slow, but it does happen during the day on the 1 minute, is when price is running in one of the Bollinger Bands, in the upper or the lower, and then turns around and goes directly to the opposite band. If it does hit while the bands are still closing, I do a reversal trade immediately. And this is what happened here. We were running in the top side of it. We came back all the way to the bottom side while it's still inside the same bubble, and these bands were definitely still closing by the time price hits here. So as soon as price hits, that's where I take a buy, and then this will be a 1 minute buy. Usually if I get an entry from my strategies on the 1 minute, I'll take a 5 minute trade, but for this specific setup, I do a 1 minute trade because quite often it will just push up for 1 minute and then continue its direction. But 1 minute trade there is super effective. This, see if we can find another example, just to give you guys an idea of, we kind of had an example here, although I suspect, auto scroll. Oh, wrong button. Let's just take disengage auto scroll there for a second. So what we're looking for is a really strong run like this, and you can clearly see the Bollinger Bands making a very nice bubble, and then come down. This one hit outside, but if this candle hit while, let's say in this area here, while the bands were still closing, that's the kind of trades I take immediately. I don't think about them. There was another example. This was a good example. We were running upside, came down, it hit the bottom band, and these bands were still closing by the time it hit. So you could have taken, as long as you wait for it to hit and either take a trade, get your entry on the Bollinger Band or outside, you should be good. So if you did, doesn't matter. If you took it for 1 minute, doesn't matter what happened, you would have won this trade. And this is the reason I do it only for 1 minute. You can see afterwards, if I did take a 5 minute buy here, I would have lost it. But a 1 minute trade is good on these kind of moves always. You just won't get a lot of entries during the course of the day. So this is a strategy that I do not use by itself because it does give so few entries throughout the day. You will not get a ton of entries using this strategy, but you will get them. And if you do spot it, you can safely take them. There was another example. we were running there, came back down. These bands were clearly closing, and if you just waited for the bands to hit, or for price to hit, you would have had a good trade. Okay, so great strategy, but you will not get a ton of entries during the course of the day. But it is great to have it additionally. So it's something we keep an eye out for, always keep an eye out for. That's one of the main reasons the Bollinger Bands are on this chart. You will notice when I explained the three main strategies, it did not include the Bollinger Bands. So that's one of the reasons the Bollinger Bands are there for. The other reason is the Bollinger Band squeeze. Again, this doesn't happen often on a chart or during the day, but it does happen occasionally. And it's also a great trade opportunity once you can, once there is a squeeze. I put all this scroll back. Let's see if we can find an example of a Bollinger squeeze. It's not long enough. And once we find an example, I will explain how a Bollinger squeeze works. Just got to find a nice setup. So clearly, as I'm having trouble finding a decent entry, clearly it's not something that happens quite a lot. But that was data new data. But it's good to know it, and it's good to be aware of it, and so that once it does happen, you can actually take a position off it. Okay, it doesn't look like there's been one recently. Where are we? 25 already. Huh. I did see a few examples that were technically correct, but I would like to find a nice example though. Okay, so technically this is an example of a Bollinger squeeze, although this was on Monday morning, like the first hour or 2 hours of the Asian session. So this would not be tradable, but this is kind of what it looks like. Bollinger Bands will compress and your price will range in a very tight area. So these bands compress. So once these bands open up, that's the squeeze break. We go in the direction of the break. So if price is squeezing like this for a while, it does need to be a few candles. It's not just a contracting and opening again, right? So this whole area here is the squeeze area. The bands closed and they remained like a tunnel for a while, and then they opened up again, and then we can just go in the direction of the break. So you're gonna see examples of this throughout the day. Not often, but it does occur. But it's not this. Okay, so it's not just a closing and opening again. This happens permanently. So that's not a Bollinger squeeze. Price isn't being squeezed. So these bands are squeezing together for a while, and that's where the name comes from. I did see a few examples here that were a bit sloppy. See, like technically it squeezed there for a few candles. It was flat and then it broke to the top side. So once this happens and the bands start opening up, we can just take a continuation trade. In this case, would have been a buy. If you took a 5-minute buy here, you would have been good. But okay, enough of that. We're gonna if I spend too much time on the charts history, I'm gonna start missing trades, and we do not want to do that. We do want to see if we can hook a few. So let's pay attention and see what happens. See if we can get some good setups. By the way, this on the 10 seconds, this is not something I trade, although it's the setup I just described on the 1 minute. If you are able to do 10-second trades, you could maybe try it on a 10-second chart. I do not trade this setup on a 10-second chart. Okay, I trade it only on the 1-minute chart, or the 5-minute. If it's on a 5-minute chart, I will take a 5-minute trade, because I take the when I get that Bollinger setup, I take the trade will be for the duration of the actual candle that the chart is. So 1-minute trade on a 1-minute candle, like I explained on this trade here. If this was a 5-minute chart and it looked exactly the same, I would have taken a 5-minute buy, because the candle, the current candle should push up when this happens. It will push up most of the time. All right, let's see. Euro has been stubborn since yesterday. I've been holding shorts since Tuesday on Euro, and it's being so stubborn. It's keeps pushing back. Excuse me. But we'll see how it goes. The shorter time frames at least is giving us nice volatility and nice flow. So we're gonna trading options on 1-minute trades and 5-minute trades is not an issue at the moment. It's the higher time frames that's being stubborn. They don't want to start trending. They're ranging for the most part at this moment. Let's see. I don't know if I covered the data. We have fairly almost no data coming out that's going to impact the market. That will really impact the market during the UK session, but we do have some very high impact data. I'm expecting a lot of volatility this afternoon in the US session. Okay, so it's 15 minutes into the US session. We're going to get the European main refinancing rate. If there's a surprise there, we're going to see massive movements. Please don't be caught off guard. Keep an eye on this. Go to Forex Factory or investing if you want, if that's what you use. I like Forex Factory. But go there and check your local time so you know when this is going to happen. Because this, especially if there is a surprise with this data, it's going to move anything related to the euro, and it's going to move a lot. And then as well, we have this coming out in the US 15 minutes afterwards, and if there are any surprises there or something, it's going to move anything related to the dollar, and it's going to move quite a bit. So I am expecting a lot of volatility this afternoon. Until then, it's a relatively smooth sailing on the lower time frames, 10 seconds, 1 minute, even 5 minutes. It should be nice flow. We should not see too much volatility. We should be able to find quite a few trades or quite a few entries during the course of this video. It bothers me that the payouts keep dropping at the moment, but it is normal when there's a lot of data coming out. It doesn't matter if it's high impact or low impact data. Quite often when there's a lot of data coming out and the brokers expect a lot of volatility, they will lower the payouts. But it's fine. Like I said, we've dropped our trade sizes. Even if we do a few bad trades, we're going to recover very easily. When the payouts go up, it's usually for most of the day, the payout on Euro USD is going to be 92%. So once it gets back to there, it's very easy to recover if you had a few losses during the earlier session when the payouts were low. That's why we do the lower trade size as well. Hopefully we won't have a lot of losses, but we'll see how it goes. A lot of big flowing moves. We do have a decent DI spike, but the ADX is a bit too high to my liking. This is probably going to drop a bit, but I'm not going to risk it. Is the drop. our seasons are changing, and it's starting to get nippy in the evenings. And usually when the seasons change, I tend to get sick. When we go from hot to cold, I tend to have my annual flu streak. And I really hope that's not what's building at the moment. My throat is a bit scratchy this morning. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're not really getting entries from any of our strategies at the moment. Not on the 1 minute or 10 seconds. It's fine. This happens. Sometimes the market just doesn't give you a lot of good entries. And these conditions will change, especially because I'm trading 10 seconds and 1 minute. In half an hour's time, market conditions can be totally different than what it is now, and I could be finding a lot of entries. This does look like it's building a little bit of divergence for us, although I am a bit hesitant to do reversal trades on the 10 seconds at this moment, because these pushes are long and strong. It's not it's long moves. So let's just check here quick. We don't have data out yet. No, it's only at 11. That's in 20 minutes. So we're good on that. No need to worry. If you've been following these videos, you'll one of the ways you can check if the trading conditions are good for the strategies that I am using. So if you're using the strategies we discuss on this channel, one of the ways to tell if the market conditions are bad is when the RSI keeps hugging the middle line like this. We're not seeing nice flow. This is nice flow from the RSI. It's making highs and lows, but right now we're just flirting with the 50 line. So there's no real momentum currently. We are ranging, but usually when the RSI is like this, that's one of the ways I know that the market conditions aren't that good for my strategy at this moment. I will still occasionally get entries, and it doesn't mean I stop trading. It just tells me that it's not a good time for my strategies specifically. There will definitely be other strategies that will work great in market conditions like this, but mine does not work so well when the RSI is running, keeps flirting with, well, flirting, what's the word? How do I say this in proper English? It keeps jumping from to either side of the 50 middle line. There's no flow in the market or in the indicators. And that's one of the ways that I know that it's not the ideal conditions for me to trade at the moment. So we're going to relax a bit. When I see this, I'll either go do something else for a while, or I'll just sit back and wait for the conditions to start changing again. And this will happen, doesn't matter what strategy you use, this will happen throughout the day for you. It will be at different times for different people. When my strategies aren't working well and you're using something else, yours might be working brilliantly. And when mine's working great, yours might not be. So it's not a fixed time every day. It's not the same time for everybody because of different strategies, but it does happen to everybody, and it does happen during the day. It always happens because the market cycles, conditions aren't always the same. And I've said this before, it's one of the reasons a lot of people fail with trading is they've only got a certain time every day that they can spend in front of the charts. A lot of people work and they do this part-time, so when they get home, they do dinner and stuff, and then they go sit every day at the same time. They go sit in front of the charts. Some days they have great days and they get a lot of entries, but other days they don't, and they start thinking they're doing something wrong, or and they start forcing trades. You will not get the same amount of entries at the same time every day, ever. It doesn't happen. keeps on changing. So be prepared for that. There will be times when you have to sit and wait for decent entries, and it will never be the same time every day. So relax with that. Take what the market gives you. Even if you do have if you have a fixed time every day that you can only trade, let's say you've got 7 to 9 every evening, or 7 to 8, you only got an hour, whatever the case may be, accept that some days you're going to get a lot of entries, some days you're going to get none, but it should average out. If you're trading 10 seconds and 1 minute, it should average out, say, 4 to 6 entries an hour maybe. But that will be on average. We've had days here on this channel where we had a lot of entries during the course of the video, and we had days here where we had none, and we didn't do any trades during the course of the video. So it's never the same. Be aware of that. Be aware that that happens. This is going to give us a sell. We're very close to setting up a sell here. Let's see what happens. If we come down now, we don't even need to come down properly. The next candle can also I'm going to wait and see how this candle closes. If my RSI keeps pointing downwards on the close of this will probably be a sell trade for us, because we do have hidden divergence as well. We can't push up more. If it goes up a lot more, this trade will go void. But as it is now, we have hidden divergence, bearish divergence on the 10 seconds, and we have this the RSI rejection building on the 1 minute. Just got to wait and see what happens. I'm going to go with a 1 minute trade here. Okay, so my RSI is not pointing down yet, so I cannot confirm the rejection yet. I have to wait for this. I was hoping to get the divergence trade here, but this divergence voided on the 10 seconds. Unfortunately, we could still see a drop coming in a minute. Just got to wait for this RSI to turn down, which means I'm going to have to wait for the close of this candle. If the RSI doesn't turn down and it flatlines maybe on the close of this candle, I'll wait for the next one. If it does actually push through, no trade. If it closes and the RSI is pointing downwards, it's telling me that it rejected, and I will go in the direction of the move here. Since we're on a 1 minute chart, we will be doing a 5 minute sell. Just got to wait to confirm. If it keeps pushing upwards, well, the trade is gone. We won't get an entry. It's as simple as that, and we'll just wait for the next one. So as it stands, we've got 10 seconds left on this chart. As it stands, it's not going to be a trade for us. Okay, so my RSI is breaking through, no trade. Well, it could still actually, if we see a big red candle, it will reject off the middle line. So if this candle does close red, properly red, I doubt it will though. But if it does, we might actually still be in, we might still have a position or an entry opportunity. But I don't think it will. But we'll see. Could be wrong. We have 20 seconds left on this candle to the close of this candle. Let's see what it does. It could very well give us a massive red candle. Could give us a big green candle as well. We don't know. We don't predict. We follow what the price price is doing, and only then. Okay, so I'm going with the 5 minute sell. My RSI got rejected off the middle line. It also got stopped by the 50 moving average, which is why it's there. Like I said earlier, we use the moving averages as dynamic support and resistance areas. So we're in a 5 minute trade because we got this on the 1 minute chart, and now we're just going to ride it and see what happens. The market is very volatile at the moment though. The short time frames are very volatile. So this is definitely not a trade that I will say I'm not worried about. This could very well push back. But as we know from the previous videos, there are losing trades. Nobody wins all the entries they take. What's important is that you win more than you lose, and that's something we've been actually managing. So we're not worried when we lose trades. I know my strategies my strategies are profitable over time, so I don't mind losing a trade because it does happen. The one thing we do not do is when we lose a trade, immediately take another one to try and recover. We don't do that. We wait for the next entry from one of our strategies. That's the way we do it, and that's the way we keep doing it. As long as we take trades within our strategies, that's the important thing. That we stick to our strategies and we take the trades we take the opportunities as they present themselves. That's the most important thing. Got 3 minutes left on this, not a problem. In the meantime, let's keep an eye on the 10 seconds as well. I tend to get very caught up. Once I'm in a trade, I tend to get caught up and I miss trade opportunities on one of the other time frames because I'm watching this, watching the open trade. Okay, this does look like it's going to be a losing trade for us, but it's fine. It really doesn't matter. I am kind of tempted to take a 1 minute sell here because of this nice DI spike. The ADX is coming up quite strongly now. So I'm a bit hesitant to put this in reverse. That's a bad though. I wonder why. That's probably because of the data coming, all of the data that's hitting us this morning. Right, 1 minute to go. I think it's fairly safe to say that this trade is gone. Although you never know. I've seen stranger things. Coming down with a vengeance. Question is it going to come down in time? But I've taken this as a loss in my mind already. It is definitely going to be a loser. What's the time? 10 minutes to go before the data release, right? Okay, first trade for the day was a loss on this. 11, you know. Italian and German GDP, it shouldn't be too much. Okay, so this is confirmed divergence on the bearish divergence on the 10 seconds. So I'm going to take a 1 minute trade here. we'll see how it goes. That's normal bearish divergence. We can see price made a new high, but the stochastic and the RSI made a lower high than the previous one. So that's normal bearish divergence, and that's a normal bearish divergence is a reversal signal for us. So when we get it on the 10 seconds, I take a 1 minute trade, and if I get it on the 1 minute chart, I take a 5 minute trade, because divergence usually needs a few candles to play out. It won't always play out in a single candle. So if I did, if this was a 1 minute chart, for example, and I took a 1 minute trade, it would have been a losing trade. 5 minute trade obviously would have been in the money. Here we go. We're up to 70 now. Still not back to what we should be. "35 minutes in, and we had 2 trades, 2 entries. It's a bit slow. Usually we should have about 3 or 4 now, but at least usually, but it's fine. Like I said, some days we get a lot, some days not so much, and it's okay. We take what we get. We can't rush it. Market does what it does, and if you have the patience, you will be rewarded for it. Okay, so this push is gaining momentum. You can see the ADX starting to climb. It's not that strong yet though, so not yet at a spot where I would say we're going to start pushing downwards for a while, but it does seem to be gaining some momentum at least, or some strength. Question is what the 1 minute will do, but that we'll only see in a few minutes. I am on the higher time frames. I am very bullish on the dollar, meaning I expect Euro USD to drop over the next few weeks. I expect the pound dollar to drop over the next few weeks. I expect USD yen to climb, and USD versus Canadian dollar, I expect that to climb. We'll see what happens though. This is just my bias because of all the stuff that's going on in the US at the moment. I think we're going to see the dollar strengthening a lot this year. But that remains to be seen. That's just something that I think is going to happen. Dollar has been strengthening from September last year, and it's been strengthening a lot. If you look at a Euro USD, let's have a quick look at the daily chart. It's been dropping since September last year, and dropping quite hard. And I think we're going to continue with that. That's my bias. I don't want to say prediction because I'm not trying to predict anything. I could be wrong. I don't take trades based off what I think will happen, because when I do, I'm actually quite often wrong. All I do is follow what is happening in the market. We follow price. That's fairly easy to do. It's not really difficult to follow the price action. So if it's falling, we sell. If it's climbing, we buy. It's as simple as that, really. But I do think we're going to see the Euro USD drop quite a bit more. I will not be surprised if we see Euro USD on parity, first or second quarter of this year, maybe third, but it will not surprise me. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it won't surprise me. I won't be surprised if it does happen. I kind of expect it to. It's going to take a while to play out. There's a lot of changes being made in the US. Their economy is going to rock the next 4 years. But these changes are going to take a while to take effect. So although the instructions, we can say that the instructions has been given already, but it's going to take a while to implement and execute. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. If there's one thing I do know is that I cannot predict what's going to happen in the markets. Most of the time I'm wrong, trying to predict what the market will do over time. And that's not what we do here when we're trading. What we're doing when we're trading is we're just following what something that the market is showing us at that specific point in time. Payouts are going up, we can move up. Trade size is up now as well. Okay, so if this is the reason I explained earlier about dropping my trade sizes when the payouts are low. I did 2 trades. Even if I lost both of them, I just need to do 1 trade on 500 to more than recover the 2 trades worth of losses. I need to pay attention to the charts now. It wants to break this. It wants to go down. The question is if they're going to allow it to go down. When I say they, I mean traders across the world. $4.2 is a big level. It's been, what do you say? It's been hit a few times recently in the last few days. So I'd like to see a break of this. I'd like actually to see a break of 1.04. I'd love to see a break below that. But we'll wait and see what happens. Oh, we got 2 minutes to the data. Data's gonna hit not even 2 minutes, minute and 40 seconds, minute and 30 seconds. Let's relax. I'm not gonna take it. I don't take trades when the data is about to hit, because you don't know how the market will react, and it's best, in my opinion, just to stay out for a few minutes and see if something happens, than to be caught off guard and lose a trade just because you forgot the data's coming out or the data goes against you, because it's a gamble. Anybody that trades the actual data release is gambling. There's no way you can know before the time what the numbers are, what the actual figures are, or how the market's going to react to it. We don't know. And I don't know, it's fine if I know a few people who only trade big news events, but they know they're gambling, and they go from that viewpoint that they are gambling, and that's fine. If that's something you want to do it. Just understand that it is a gamble. It is not. There's no strategy that can guard you against data releases. None. If you do not, even if you know the figures ahead of time, you don't know how people will react. And it's impossible to predict it. Okay, let's see. Here we go. 10 seconds. We're going to get the data out. Although I really don't think we're going to see much movement. We shouldn't see. I don't think we're going to see a lot of movement right now. We're seeing some quick movement, but not big movement. This candle is relatively small compared to the opening bell of the UK session. So yeah, I don't think we're going to see a big candle, but I do think we're going to see a direction being taken now. we should be seeing the euro pairs pick a direction. We've been ranging in, I kind of want to say, in anticipation of the data release. And the data, this should give us at least some direction for the next few hours. It's not a big reaction to the market. We can continue trading, or big reaction to the data. We can continue trading as we do. Although this video is getting a bit long now. We're 45 minutes in. We've had 2 trades, which sucks. Not a lot of trading opportunities, but it's also a good thing. It's always good if you guys see that sometimes we struggle, sometimes we don't get entries, and the only thing we can do is wait and be patient. So although it's frustrating sometimes for me to not get entries when I'm doing the video, the morning videos, it's still, I do still consider it a good thing, because this is what trading is like. It isn't always getting a lot of entries. It isn't always, you know, some days I stop trading 2 or 3 hours into the UK session because I'm not getting entries and I'm getting frustrated, and I just stop trading, go do something else and come back the next day. Because if I don't get entries, the rate we're going now is fine still for me. But if I sit for an hour and I get no entries from any of my strategies, I start getting frustrated. So that's when I stop trading for the day and I go do something else, because I make bad decisions when I'm frustrated. I think that applies to everybody. The more frustrated you get, the more worked up you get, the less clear your head is, and the worse your decisions become. And making this, all the decisions I make here during the day directly affects my capital. So you don't want to make bad decisions with anything to do with your capital. Okay, so guys, I'm going to call this here. We're going to cut it. I'm going to get back to my normal trading for the rest of the day, which doesn't leave me a lot of time because I do have the stream in 3 hours. I'll be doing the live stream as well. Really hope I see all of you guys there. So yeah, and I'll see you guys probably tomorrow for another video on option trading. Until then, please remember, trade smart and trade safe. Be patient and have a great one. Cheers.